You tell him, King Leo, you silly boy.
So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Lion's Den. And this episode, I'm gonna try to keep it real short. I do have a couple of announcements before we get into stuff, though. So yeah, I know we haven't done an episode in like 2 weeks, but I'm doing this one pretty late. Um, while I'm back in school, so I've been a little bit busy. But I'm gonna try to get episodes out as fast as I can. Not really as fast, but like keep us on the schedule that I started over the summer. And keep us on like that Monday release schedule, and then obviously like the short form stuff in between, like on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I'm gonna try to keep that up, but I was sick over the weekend and like last week, so I didn't really feel too well with releasing stuff. But I'm gonna try to work through like all my club stuff and like classes and stuff to try to still give y'all some episodes. So yeah, but today's episode, I'm gonna try to keep it short. Um, like our little 15-minute episodes we used to do, and then obviously like when I interview someone, those will be like our longer ones. But for this episode, I want to talk about a topic that me and my friends were talking about today at lunch, and it was more so about. It's also about something I posted. It was about a hot take I posted actually. And it got more traction than I thought it would. Because I usually I lose like a lot of not really traction, but I lose a lot of like thought, or like I don't really think that I give good hot takes. Like I feel like I give cold hot takes sometimes, but here recently I think I've been giving pretty good hot takes. So the hot take was Kurapika. I said Kurapika was the worst character in Hunter x Hunter, which I do believe that. Um, and I only say that because one, mainly, yes, he didn't call Gon, or he didn't pick up the phone when they called about Gon, and also we do get a lot of build up from Kurapika, right? But the build up that we get from Kurapika is kind of just very dull, and they don't really like. Yes, we get him in the first arc, we get him in York New, the election arc, and the Hunter exam arc. But then that's all we see at Kurapika. We don't see him in Greed Island. We don't see him for the Chairman arc or Chimera Ant. And then he gets the Blackwell arc, his solo arc, and that's where like we're supposed to get the rebuild up from him. To me, I kind of hate that, only because like of so much build up we got from him before, to just give us like that little bit of build up to be like, oh, well, this is where all I missed. I didn't really give him good development here. So I was gonna give him his own solo arc, which I mean, I guess there's nothing wrong with that. But to me, I don't really like that. I feel like that's kind of dumb. To me, that's bad writing because Kurapika has a very complex character. He has very good and complex character writing. And I feel like that it was wasted because you build him up for those first three arcs, and then you drop him off for the next three just to give him a solo. I feel like that's dumb because Kurapika could have really helped them with the Chimera Ant arc. He also could have helped them at Greed Island. Granted, I do know that he had his own goal to get the Scarlet Eyes, because that was one of the points that my friend kept making. He was like, Kurapika, like we knew what his goal was, and like Gon and Killua and Leoria, they like respected him for that. Yes, they did. They did respect Kurapika's decision to go and get the Scarlet Eyes, but still, I kind of still feel like that Kurapika could have done his mission with his friends as well. Like I know that was only his sole mission, was to only find the Scarlet Eyes, but I do feel like the friendship and everything that he built with Gon, Killua, and Leorio, I just feel like that should have got developed a lot more in like the other arcs, like Greed Island Because I mean, even though Leorio went off to be a doctor too, he still came back like in the chairman election arc. And no, he didn't come back in Chimera or Greed Island, but he did come back in the chairman election arc. So I just feel like I just have would have wanted to see Kurapika like a little bit more. I don't really have a lot to get into about him not being present a lot because like I said, like we knew what his goal was, right? We knew it was to go and find the Scarlet Eyes. So we knew his goal wasn't to like hang around and be like a part of the party or something like that. And like Killua's goal was to help go and find his dad and all this other stuff. So right. But now what I do have to say is about Kurapika being a bad friend. And this might take our whole 15 minutes because I actually do have a lot to talk about for this part. Because to start off this segment, Kurapika letting his vengeance overwhelm him. Now, this was a big point that I kept pointing out to my friend at dinner. I said lunch. I don't know if we talked about it at lunch or not, but we did talk about it at dinner. But this was a point that I kept bringing out to my friend is that in Hunter x Hunter, there are so many characters that go through vengeance or they go through like different arcs of like vengeance, loss, or grief. Because take like or like arcs where like they could isolate themselves from people, but they choose not to. Now, for example, we'll take Gon. Because I will use Kurapika, but I mean videos about him. So we'll use Gon for example. So Gon with Kite. When Kite died, Gon went on literally it was Gon's revenge arc. Now, even a lot of people were saying this too in the comments with my hot take when I said Kurapika was the worst. They were like, "Oh, well, Gon put everybody in danger because he told Pito that he was going to kill Komogi, and he was talking junk to Killua and all this other stuff." Okay, yes, he did tell Pito that he was going to kill Komogi, and he did talk junk to Killua. But how did him saying that he was going to kill Komogi to Pito putting anyone in danger? Literally, the plan was they literally did this whole plan to storm Mary Williams' castle. So everybody already knew coming in that it was Pito versus Gon. Like they already knew that Gon was going to take Pito. Like even like that's what I'm saying. Like oh sorry, but Netero, literally the iconic point, the iconic this, literally the Netero thumb, like Pito's in there. The plan was already for Gon and Pito to fight. So the whole world being in danger, that's non-existent because that was already the plan. That was into the plan. So nobody was going to get put in danger. And Gon talking back to Killua, I don't really see how that was really isolation. I wouldn't really call that isolation. Nobody really made that point with the hot take on the post, but my friend did make that point, and it was kind of like it did kind of make me think. But I don't really see that as isolation. I kind of more see that as like their two ideologies clashing. Like Killua's ideology was that Gon should think about it because he obviously knew that Gon's strong enough because Gon's about to kill Moro, but Kill's ideology was like Gon was going to lose himself in vengeance, but Gon was just kind of I more so saw that as like Gon telling Killua like to shut up basically. I kind of more so saw that as Gon telling Killua like you knew what was about to happen, like you knew that Pito was mine, so you know that I'm supposed to fight Pito, so just shut up and let me fight. Like you know what I'm saying? So I kind of more so feel like it was that instead of rather like, fuck you, we're not friends. Like, I'm isolating myself from you. I didn't really feel like it was that. But with Kurapika, it was pure isolation. With Gon, it really wasn't. Like, Gon was still acting himself. Like, even when he was about to kill Moro, Killua could still talk him out of it. Now, Gon and Killua did talk Kurapika out of it, like, out of his vengeance for like a bit. They did talk him out of it during the Hunter exam arc. But Kurapika still isolated himself, like, heavily. Like, Leorio isolated himself for a bit, but he left to become a doctor and he came back. Kurapika isolated himself like fully. Like even with the Phantom Troop, he called on the phone and he had Crollo and he was like, let's make a deal and all this, but he couldn't answer the phone when Gon was in the hospital, or he couldn't even call. Like, I mean, I understand he's on his mission, but they like, so the writer for Hunter x Hunter, and this is like a really big part that kind of stands out to me mainly. He shows, so we see Kurapika just sitting in the room with the Scarlet Eyes, listening to the phone ring. We didn't even have to be shown that, right? So I think us being shown that is showing us how far Kurapika will go to get his revenge. And the main thing that I think that does make Kurapika like the worst character in Hunter x Hunter, like yes, he is the most complex like written characters, but he is the worst character in terms of being a bad friend and having his potential be almost wasted or just halted. Because the bad friend aspect is you literally you let yourself get lost in your revenge and your vengeance, and you basically forsaken your like you basically for like just forego your friend, your whole friendships and like your friends and stuff, because you basically isolated yourself from them for 3 whole arcs. And then when your friend got put in the hospital, you didn't even answer the phone. Even when Killua was partially isolated from Gon after Illumi said he would kill Gon, like if Killua didn't go back home, or he would kill Gon if like Killua didn't do something. I had to rewatch Hunter x Hunter, but even when like Gon came to save Killua or something, like Killua never was like fuck you, Gon, get out of here, we're not friends. Like those two could have, like, if Killua really wanted to put the beaters on Gon, like when he came there, Killua could have. And I'm pretty sure we all know that. But he didn't. But it's different with Kurapika because Kurapika, he stayed isolated for those whole 3 arcs. Like I understand, yes, his clan got massacred. He was going to get Scarlet Eyes, but I feel like with the creator showing us that, it's just telling us like this is Kurapika. Like he's basically showing us how bad Kurapika's character can get. And I mean that's kind of what alludes me to him being like a bad friend, because I mean it's kind of like you're putting your vengeance and your revenge over your friendship. And I mean that's kind of mainly what more so stands out to me. With his like with saying yes, he's like the worst character and whatnot. But I don't know what you guys think. Like, let me know down in the comments. I'm sorry that this is a short episode. I'm gonna try to get some more like interview episodes out. I'm also gonna try to get more Draconic Saga episodes. I'm trying to work around more so like my long days. We're trying to like batch record some stuff like on days where like I'm feeling more high energy. I'm trying to batch record some things to get out to you guys. But I'm hoping I'm hoping that I can keep up with the content this semester, because I really enjoy it and I really love like coming on here talking about like anime with you guys, with everyone. And I'm also going to try to keep up the streaming and also do some live episodes as well. But I'll keep more in the post for you all. And as always, my kingdom, see you on the next one.